What's up, YouTube? This is MW Perry 2009, aka SexyDreamPirate. It is November 27th, maybe 14 days after Evo Fury has come out, so I'm a little bit late posting up all of the, some of my deck profiles involving the new Evo Fury cards, but I figured I would go ahead and show you guys my Fire Nature Evo-Rush deck. I've played it one league night so far. I've played a couple matches with friends. It's really good. Normally by turn 6, I'm looking at swinging for game. It runs extremely fast. It outpaces every rush deck I've come up against so far. Probably the only thing that I've really had any trouble with is like a rally deck, where I'm coming up against, a 40 card deck with that is at least 50% blockers. Anything that's around 20 blockers in a deck or more, that's really that slows my game down, and it makes it more of a control or an aggro game, and I can't keep up with that. But for the most part, it's a pretty solid deck, and I'm thinking of some changes, but right now I don't have any direct ones. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So starting with my 1-cost stuff, I run 2 Jetflame Bodyguard, 1 for 3 Skirmisher. The only reason I have him in here is he's great Evo bait. The 1 cost, it's really nice. 4 mana, I can drop Jetflame, then drop a Laser Arm right on top of it. Honestly, if there was a Blaze Belcher version of this card, if there's a Blaze Belcher type thing, 1 for 1 has to attack every turn, I would take this guy out and replace it. It's just the fact that he's a Drakon that I'm playing in. The 1 for 3 is nice, but he's a skirmisher, and in a rush deck, I need to break as many shields as possible. So it kind of works against me, but it is really good Evo bait. So 2 Jetflame Bodyguard. My next 1 cost, I run 3 of them, 3 Prickleback, 1 for 2. When it hits a shield, goes back to the hand. Once again, it's great Evo bait. It is nice because I can still break a shield with it. It kind of sucks, if you get 1 or 2 of them in a hand and you're forced to play those because you can't keep pressure on the field. But overall, solid card, good Evo bait. I run 3 Pricklebacks. My next card, I run 3 of these, moving up to my 2-cost creatures. Drakon Weaponsmith, 2 for 1,000, Power Attacker 2,000. Great solid card, really good turn 2 drop, and it's a Drakon, so it works with Laser Arm, Blast Forge Captain. Real good card. I like it. I run 3 of those. My next card, I run 2 of these. Badlands Lizard, 2 for 2k. He's at 3k when he swings, but he has to attack every turn. This guy attacks on turn 3. I don't really have that much mana ramp in this, so he swings on turn 3, so 3 for 3,000, and he's sitting at 2, which is pretty good. So, it kind of sucks that he's forced to attack, but at the same time, he's swinging for 3, and he costs 2. So, I run 2 of these. It's a good card. I don't see any reason to cut down to 1 because I actually do run Big Hissy, but I'll get to that in a minute. My next 2-cost card, Moonhowler Tribe, 2 for 2k, Beastkin, Nature, excellent card, 2 for 2, so it's just a standard vanilla, but you're not losing anything on it. You get exactly what you pay for, which is positive, and he's a Beastkin, which is wonderful. So, good card, good solid turn 2, you can play him and you're not really worried. So, I run 3 of these, by the way. 3 Moonhowler Tribe. Moving on to turn 3. I run 3 of these. Jet Thrust Darter. 3 for 1k and fast attack. It's a good card for keeping pressure on the field. It's, it's Evo bait for Big Hissy. It sucks that his power is so low, but the fast attacker mechanic costs 2, except for like Jetflame or Drakon Warchief. But I'm not running mono fire, so overall, it's the cheapest fast attacker that this deck can get out, and it's acceptable Evo bait for Big Hissy. My next turn 3. I run 3 copies. Super Bazooka Volcanodon. 3 for 1,000. Powerful attack plus 4. This card is really interesting. I didn't like it in old DM just because in old DM it was 4 for 2,000 plus 4,000 when he attacks. Now it's 3 for 1,000 plus 4. So you get him out a little bit sooner. He still swings really, really big, but he's still extremely vulnerable, whenever it comes to being attacked. Overall, this card is okay. It's pretty good. It is acceptable Evo bait. I don't really like the fact that I have to pay 3 for him, but if I've got him out on the field already, I can evolve into something and not feel like I'm losing something. So I run 3 of those. Mainly the reason I run 3 of those is because it's a Drakon and it's cheap. So moving on to my next 3, moving into the Evos. 3 laser arm Drakon. 3 is not too much. My hand isn't flooded with these. Extremely useful card. The only negative side effect to this is he's affected by cheap removal, but honestly, in a rush deck that runs this quickly, it's fine because he could normally get an attack off before the return to soil and before bone blades can get into play. So good card, extremely good card. I'm loving the Evos that they put out in this. In this set, very good stuff. 3 laser arm Drakon. My ratio for Evos to bait is actually a little bit less than recommended. They recommend 3 bait to 1 Evo creature. I actually run about, if you were to figure out the decimals, it's probably about 2.5 or maybe 2.75 to 1. Still pretty close. I have 8 bait and 3 Evos, so it's pretty solid in the Drakon family. Alright, moving on. Another 3-cost creature, Razorhide. 3 for 2,000. When he swings, top card of deck goes into mana. The mana ramp is nice because with this deck, it is not strange to be out of cards by turn, by turn 4. That's extremely common. I would add water, except for it would totally defeat the rush purpose. So I run 3 Razorhide so I can keep charging mana and still play my draw card. If I come up against a slow-running deck and they're not attacking shields, I start to get hurt around turn 4 or 5. So I run 3 Razorhide to supplement my mana, and also it's fantastic Evo bait. Moving on to 4-cost creatures, I run 3 of these. Bronze Arm Sabertooth, 4 for 7,000, double breaker. Whenever he's destroyed, it goes into mana. It's an uncommon card. It's a fantastic card. Out of all of the Evos, excluding the super rares, out of all of the uncommon Evos, Laser Arm, this one, Hydra Medusa, Emperor Axon, out of that family, I would say this card is the best Evo that we got. Hydra Medusa is great, I run it, but overall, 7,000 and goes into mana. It is harmful for your opponent to put this card, or to get rid of this card with cheap removal. The only thing that you're not really affected by is like a root trap if they had to play it, or a return to soil, because it's going to mana anyway. That's the only way your opponent doesn't lose, by getting rid of this card. So, I run 3 of these. My ratio for Beastkin Evos, I do run the 3 bait to 1 Evo. I've got my 3 Razors, my 3 Pricklebacks, and my 3 Moonhowler Tribe. So my ratio is 1 to 3 for the Beastkin creatures. Moving on to turn 5, my only 5-cost creature, Big Hissy. 5 for 6,000, and he can attack untapped, and he's a double breaker. This guy, he's one that I don't actually get him out a lot, not because I don't have the mana, just because I don't see him. It's not a mega huge game changer whenever I do get him out, because by turn 5, you know, they're starting to get out bigger blockers, or most of the time their strategy has started to move. You know, their deck is starting to do what it's supposed to do. But it is nice whenever I can get in there with Big Hissy and, you know, get rid of their blocker and then swing for the double with Bronze Arm Sabertooth, and then, you know, I still have Prickleback that's, you know, can swing and pop back into my hand. Overall, it's a useful card. It's a little bit more situational than the Bronze Arm Sabertooth or even the Laser Arm, but yeah, it's acceptable. My ratio for that, I'm actually running 5 to 1. I have 3 Jet Thrust and 2 Badlands Lizard. So I'm actually running 5 to 1. I've considered removing a Jet Thrust and a Badlands, you know, to kind of keep the ratio somewhat balanced. Maybe remove, you know, 2 cards so I can slip in a Root Trap or, you know, some other big removal spell card. But that's it for my creatures. Hi, Harper. Say hi to YouTube.
No.
No? Alright, fine.
Wish they get the best. They get devil horns from me.
Devil horns from you? Alright, moving on. That's all my creatures. Moving on to my spells.
I got loot for another good rock on.
I run 3 of these. Comet Missile, 2 cost, gets rid of a blocker. It's great for, you know, those slow down control decks that are this deck's weakness. It's great for getting that stuff out of the way. It's nice to get rid of Drain Gear or something that's going to kill my Evo. But I run 3 of those. Next spell, Heat Seekers. 3 cost, basically a Rock Bite without the Shield Blast. It is nice to have just simply for the fact that if I don't have Rock Bite in, like, you know, somebody drops a Sunstalk Seed in my way or a Refi, and I've got, you know, a Prickleback on the field, I can use this. I can use my Heat Seekers to get rid of it and keep my creature in. Early game removal. Not necessarily powerful removal, but early game. My next spell I run 2 copies, Breach the Veil. You know, a little bit of Nature's Search. I've actually won games due to this card, you know. This game runs extremely fast. It's not unusual at all for me to run out of cards. So by having Breach the Veil in, if they break that as a shield trigger, which is wonderful, I can go ahead and search out an Evo and be ready to drop it on my next turn. That way I can swing for game. That's actually happened. This has been my last shield. They broke it on my turn. I used it to pull a laser, and on my turn, put the laser in, swung for game. So this card has actually won me games. Very good. It's the only search cards I have in my deck, and it's worked out several times. Moving on to 4 cost, 2 Rock Bite. I put this in so I can get a little bit more shield triggers in my deck. I'm thinking about getting rid of them actually for Tornado Flame, just so I've got some bigger removal, because you know, there's been a couple times where that big removal stuff has really hurt. I could probably get rid of these and put in Root Trap, but the only problem is the only way I get 7 mana is if Bronze Arm Sabertooth gets destroyed. That's the only way that I get 7 mana. So if I replaced my rock bites for Brute Trap, the only way they'd get played is shield trigger. So you know, I've considered it, but I'm not quite sure yet. I may make that change and run it and see how it turns. My last cards in the deck, I run 2, 4 cost, Return to Soil, just some more positive removal. Yeah, it does go to the mana zone, but it's the only rush civ that removes by level. You know, darkness removes by level, water bounces by level. This card is, you know, really powerful. It's good for getting rid of Keeper of Clouds, you know, blockers that have power higher than the cost. It's really good for getting rid of. That is my Fire Nature Evo-Rush. 40 cards. It is 16 nature, 24 fire, so it's a little bit more on the fire side. And the reason that fire outweighs so much is because of the destruction spells and also the Big Hissy Evo family. Yeah, I've considered taking that out, but I really, really like Jet Thrust Darter. You know, turn 3, you're getting rid of 2 shields. Not a lot of people can recover from that really well, so I'm a big fan of that. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is 11 spell cards to 29 creatures. It's a little heavy on the spell side for me, but, you know, 9 of them are shield blasts, so I've got pretty good odds of getting one in the shields. Overall, it's a solid deck. It's a lot of fun. You know, I was inspired to put this together by Earth Power. I saw one of his videos. It was really good. It's really fun to play this because, you know, there's nothing that they can do. If they slow you down, they might stand a chance, but this thing runs extremely fast. I'm telling you guys, Rush is back thanks to Evo Fury. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to be putting on an update on my Mono Dark control deck.
Bitch in the forum.
Dude, just
or the comments box.
You can bitch in the comments box if you want, but either way, until next time, you guys keep playing.